Today on What's Next.
Growing bolder means that your options are limitless.
It really gives me hope. I just love this.
I learned so much.
God, you got to look forward, man. The only way you can look at life is the next day, to be positive about your next step and about where you're going.
We keep you away from our high-end specialists because we keep you healthy and we give you access to care here where we try to do the right care in the right place.
Hello and thanks for joining us on another adventure into What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton alongside Bill Schaefer, Cecily Wilson, and Amy Sweezy. And you know, folks, we all have more power over how we age than we think. And it's never too late or too early to start building a better future, which is pretty much why we set out to create a unique live event designed to inspire an entire community to come together and celebrate the opportunity of aging. Take a look at our first ever Growing Bolder Day.
Growing Bolder Day was everything that I didn't know I needed.
This is not your typical senior expo. We're changing the game for good and smashing that outdated stereotype. This is Growing Bolder Day.
Growing bolder means to me that your options are limitless.
It really gives me hope.
I mean, there's so many good things going on inside there.
I just love this.
I learned so much. It's an inspiration.
I love being here and everything about it.
It doesn't matter how old you are, it's how you want to live your life. Come out and grow bolder.
Growing Bolder Day is a community-wide intergenerational celebration of aging for everyone of every age. What do you think about hanging out with older people?
I think it's pretty fun.
We all need people, no matter what age. I think that's essential to life.
Growing Bolder Day is a circus of inspiration that supports and celebrates local seniors while promoting the importance of active lifestyle, community engagement, purpose, creativity, and regular health screenings.
71% of Americans 65 and older say the best time of my life is right now or still ahead. Give me some of that. I want to always believe that the rest of my life can be the best of my life.
What did you think? What do I think? That guy's amazing. It's a matter of attitude as you age.
Together with the Senior Resource Alliance and the Center for Health and Well-Being, the first annual Growing Bolder Day was infused with energy, education, activity, and entertainment.
Oh, it was a party. All sorts of activities, whether they be for your physical well-being or your mental well-being.
It featured pickleball, a drum circle, and intergenerational wisdom walk.
It doesn't matter if you meet somebody who's your age, who's 20 years younger than you, or who's 20 years older than you. I just think it's great that so many of us want to do whatever it takes to stay healthy for as long as we possibly can.
Social gaming.
It was a lot of fun because it's not just using your thumbs like with a control pad. You're actually like out and like moving to make the tennis ball go.
Tai Chi and functional fitness, healthy aging nutrition tips, inspiring speakers, a Growing Bolder Film Fest, and local rock stars of aging sharing the keys to active longevity.
It was just an inspiration. That's what I want to be like.
Live each day like it's your last.
Reach out, go forward, take chances.
I think it gives us power. We want to ride a bike at the age of 80 and get out of my way, because I'm coming.
There's a new culture of aging that's filled with opportunity and possibility, and it's never too soon or too late to start creating a happier and healthier future. Growing Bolder Day inspires, encourages, and supports people of all ages in their efforts to make the rest of their life the best of their life.
This event is enormously important. There is still a lot of opportunity to love living and to grow bolder.
I think it's so important just to uplift the lives of others, and finding that space of inspiration is so important for all of us, but definitely for our seniors.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim Growing Bolder Day in Winter Park.
Florida has the nation's highest percentage of seniors at 21% and growing. Older adults are a vital part of every city, and every city should be committed to creating opportunities for them to remain active and engaged in community life, and to do so independently, safely, and with dignity. Every city needs a Growing Bolder Day to raise awareness of the positive aspects of growing older, to combat ageist attitudes and stereotypes, and to inspire all adults to push past traditional boundaries.
I am Pamela, and I am growing bolder.
You know, creating a new event is pretty hard because nobody knows what to expect. And what we did know is if we called it a senior day, most would quickly envision a bunch of older adults going from table to table with a plastic bag collecting free swag. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but Growing Bolder Day is designed to aggregate and not separate, something that is fun, inspirational, and educational for everyone of every age. And Amy, you were a featured presenter at Growing Bolder Day. What stuck out to you the most?
So many things. It's hard to narrow it down to just one thing because there were so many incredible things that were happening. But one of my favorite things was the Growing Bolder Film Fest, where you showed stories of people that we've interviewed and then shared some information about them. And I always connect with people's stories. And so hearing their stories, you know, living life with passion and purpose, that really inspired me personally. Bill, what about you?
You know, the rock stars of aging really went over well. These were regular people that weren't used to presenting or talking about themselves, but they were so inspiring just to hear what path they took. And the whole event to me was almost like, you know, how you feel when you put on a new pair of glasses for the first time, and all of a sudden, things you sort of knew in the back of your mind become so clear, and you can feel good about being you and knowing that you can have an excellent future. So the event was it was mind-blowing.
Yeah, I will have to agree. And also, what I liked the most was the nutritional part of it. You know, feeding your mind so that longevity continues. What you put into your body helps to create what you're putting out of your body, right? And so keeping that youthful look about yourself, it's all about what you're putting on your plate and into your mouth. So that nutritional portion of it was really, really informative.
Yeah, you know, it worked. You know, of the many things that we all enjoyed, I think my favorite was the drum circle because we had 8-year-olds and 92-year-olds all contributing to a group rhythm. And I really think it was the perfect metaphor for what the #1 goal of Growing Bolder Day is, and that's bringing people together to realize that we all bring something unique and really something valuable to the party. And the one thing we all have in common is that if we're fortunate enough, we'll all live to grow older, and a healthy community is one in which older adults are an important part of daily life.
I used to think 30 was really old. I said, if I can make it to 30, that's going to be great, man. And here I am in 80 still doing it. It's pretty incredible.
Well, welcome back to What's Next. I'm Bill Schaefer, and I'm ready to take you bolder backstage. Do you remember the name Tommy Roe? In the 1960s, when it came to musical stars, this guy was one of the biggest in the world. In fact, when the Beatles and the Stones were moving up the charts, he was one of the guys they had to climb over to get to the top. He had like 27 songs that made top 30, like Sheila, Sweet Pea, and Dizzy. Roe was a worldwide hit. And in 1963, he did a tour of England, and you know who opened for him? How about 4 lads from Liverpool?
And there was a featured act called The Beatles. And they were way down at the bottom of the program, you know. That was really an incredible thing. I used to joke with John. I said, you know, John, it's because of our tour you guys are where you are, you know. He said, oh, now wait a minute.
Tommy saw how the crowds went wild for the Beatles. He knew his record label would want to sign them, so he personally took their music straight to the boss.
And he said, well, give me the record, let me hear what you got, you know. So I pulled the album out, he put it on the turntable, dropped the needle on the first cut, I think it was Love Me Do, and played a few bars, took the needle up and said, I tell you what, kid, that's got to be the worst piece of crap I've ever heard in my life. He says, let us be the talent scouts. You are a great artist. We have you a nice room over at the Waldorf Astoria. Go over there and write us some more hits and let us find the talent.
But the Beatles appreciated Tommy's efforts and wanted to return the favor.
Brian Epstein contacted my manager and asked if I would open the show for their first American concert in Washington, D.C., February 11th, 1964.
It was the only time the Beatles ever had an opening act, and it was Tommy Roe. Roe was a major star when he made a decision that shocked everyone.
I was about to get drafted. You know, we had the draft back then, and that was in the middle of the Vietnam thing. And so to keep from getting drafted, and I would lose 2 years of my career, I decided to join the Army Reserve. And so right after the concert in Washington, D.C. with the Beatles, that spring after that in '64, I went into boot camp.
While he was in the reserves, the U.S. was into the British invasion. It could have been the end of Tommy's career. He knew he needed a hit to keep it going, and like his others, he'd have to write it himself.
So when I got out of the service, they took me in the studio, we recorded Sweet Pea, released it, and it became a huge hit, put me back in the charts. And I was very fortunate to be able to do that, and I don't think I could have done it without being a writer, without writing my own material.
He was up against folk songs, protest songs, psychedelic songs. Yet in 1969, this is what topped the charts.
I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning, like a whirlpool, it never ends.
Dizzy went to #1 in Canada, England, and America. In fact, it was one of the fastest rising songs in history. And USA Today named it as one of the top 100 tunes in rock. All in all, it was a storybook career.
But it's so hard to talk to you with fellas hanging around you all the time.
And it's not over yet, because he never wants to stop.
It's just the joy of doing it. I mean, I love doing this. I used to think 30 was really old. I said, if I can make it to 30, that's going to be great, man. And here I am in 80 still doing it. It's pretty incredible. God, you got to look forward, man. The only way you can look at life is the next day, to be positive about your next step and about where you're going.
Jam up and jelly tight. My baby, now you're out of sight.
What an inspiring guy. So Bill, I want to ask you this after meeting him. You know, some thoughts. How do you think that we could all be a little bit more like Tommy? I thought it was really cool. Like, you know, he pitched the Beatles. Talk about believing in himself and being confident. Or when he felt the pressure to create another hit, get himself back onto the charts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's such an interesting guy, and mainly because he says it was never about glory, attention, or fame. It wasn't even in his mind. What he loved was the writing, the recording, and the performing, and he knew he had to find ways to connect what he loved to do with being relevant. And that's the lesson. Find ways to make what you love appealing and interesting to others, and if you're lucky, like Tommy Roe, who is 81 but sure doesn't seem like it, maybe you'll never have to stop.
Yeah, great story on a great guy. Now, these guys aren't exactly a Tommy Roe caliber act, but Toasters and Moose are all over social media these days, which does have a way of rediscovering things that have been and, you know, really maybe should have been lost forever. A case in point, the little-known, no-budget, no-box office mockumentary Chickens in the Shadows. That film follows the 1970s duo as they try to make a comeback playing their hit, Taste the Biscuit. And now, thanks to TikTok, millions are singing along. Here's our bold social clip of the week.
Taste the biscuit, taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings. Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Welcome back to What's Next. And you know, we often ask the question, who wants to live to be 100? And of course, we'd all like to, as long as we have a quality of life that we can enjoy. And that's why we're pretty excited about Advent Health Well 65 Plus, which is a bold, mission-driven commitment to deliver individualized whole-person care to Central Florida seniors. Well 65 Plus is a new healthcare model that's based upon providing older adults quicker access to healthcare, more time with their doctor, and an entire healthcare team inside each practice. The age wave is upon us. Tens of thousands of Americans are turning 65, 75, and 85 every day, many in Florida, which now has the nation's highest percentage of adults 65 and older at 21% and growing. This dramatic increase has strained primary care practices throughout the state. Many are unable to provide timely appointments, and when they can fit someone into their schedule, it's a rushed appointment with a doctor who might be seeing as many as 30 to 40 patients every day. To solve this problem, Advent Health has created Well 65 Plus, a mission-driven commitment to deliver individualized whole-person care to seniors.
The number one differentiator, I think, is access. If you would call me in my last practice and say, I need an appointment with Dr. Rogers, they would say, either let me check with him and see if he'll double book to see you for that, or he can see you in 2-3 weeks, or physical 2-3 months. Hi guys! And now we have capacity to get people in that day. If you need something, come and see the doc.
The providers are much more satisfied, they're less harried. They are not seeing 30, 50 patients a day. They're seeing 10 to 12 patients a day, able to give their full attention to the patients, take care of their needs outside the walls of the clinic, as well as inside the exam room.
And you've likely never seen exam rooms like those at Well 65 Plus.
What we wanted to do is make our offices a place where you are more comfortable. When you come into a wellness suite like this, the physician will have everything at their fingertips that they might need for that visit, so the patient doesn't get moved around. Sorry, we have to take you to this room to do that procedure. No, we do everything here. Sorry, you have to go up to the front and check out. No, we'll do everything here. It's built around what can make the experience right for the patient, what can make it most convenient for them.
In addition to better access, more time with your doctor, and state-of-the-art wellness suites, Advent Health Well 65 Plus surrounds patients with a care team that includes social workers to assist with mental health care, personal health coaches, care coordinators to handle scheduling, registered nurses, pharmacists, and on-site lab technicians. It's a one-stop shop that's designed to keep patients from running all over town to get tests and see specialists. A new healthcare model designed to keep patients out of hospitals and emergency rooms.
We give you access to care here, where we try to do the right care in the right place.
So, how is it going? Well, patient experience scores and physician engagement scores are already among the highest in the country. Advent Health's Well 65 Plus providers are delivering a new standard of care at 9 Central Florida locations, with more on the way. To learn more and to find a location near you, just visit adventhealth.com.
And welcome back, everybody, to What's Next. It's time for Your Take, where we hear from our 1 million followers on Facebook who chime in on a thought-provoking question every week. And this time we asked, what is something you've done that others said you just couldn't do? Well, Cynthia earned her master's degree in her 60s and ran her first half marathon in her 50s. Raylene started a new career in her mid-60s, while Martha hiked the Grand Canyon to the river and back at the age of 55. And S. Hill Williams shared this. My guidance counselor told my parents in front of me that I wouldn't amount to much. Now I am a practicing physician at a prestigious hospital. So Amy, in the words of Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate. What about you?
That's right. This one is so easy for me because I had so many potential bosses when I was fresh out of college tell me I would never work on television. And I say, look at me now.
I was kind of going to go the same place that Amy did, and it seems like getting to inspire people for a living is something that not a lot of people get to do, especially when you can, exceed your own expectations. That's a pretty cool thing in life, and that makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, I will say that. Mark?
It's a great question, but the truth is I've been fortunate in that I've always been around encouragers. I don't think there's ever been anyone that has ever told me I couldn't do something that I wanted to do. The truth is, I'm the one that's telling myself I can't do it. And as we get older, the group of naysayers gets bigger and bigger, and their negativity is harder for us to ignore. So folks, one of the most important keys to living with passion and purpose as we get older is to hang out with encouragers. We got to ditch the Debbie Downers. We got to get rid of the sad sacks. There is an ever increasing group of active, supportive older adults in every community. We got to find them. We got to hang out with them as if our life depends upon it, because the quality of our life most certainly does. We'll see you next time.